Hi everyone, welcome to MyMax Academy. In this video, we'll continue with the chapter Arithmetic Progression, which is your chapter 5 from your 10th standard CBSE Mathematics. I'll continue with exercise 5.3, page number 113, problem number 15 in your textbook. So problem number 15, what it says is, a contract on construction job specifies a penalty for delay of completion beyond a certain date as follows: rupees 200 for the first day, 250 for the second day, 300 for the third day, the penalty for each succeeding day being 50 more than for the preceding day. How much money the contractor has to pay as penalty if he has delayed the work by 30 days? See how what the question is. So there's a contract between the contractor, right, who is constructing probably a house or something, some construction he is doing. So the penalty clause is in such a way that he has to complete by certain time, right? Suppose if he says, no, I take 6 months to complete the job or the construction work, he should complete the job by 6 months. Suppose if he's delaying by one more day after 6 months, suppose if he completes after 6 months and 1 day, if he delays by 1 day, the penalty for 1 day is rupees 200, and if he delays by 2 days, then the penalty for the second day is 250. So which means you should pay 200 for the first day, then 250 for the second day. So totally he has to pay 450 rupees. And for the third day, the penalty is 300. Suppose if he delays by 3 days, first day he will pay 200, second day 250 plus third day 300. So totally he will pay 200 plus 250 plus 300. So much, which is 750 rupees he will pay as the penalty to the person to whom he has to construct the house or office or whatever, some construction work which is agreed between the contractor and the person who was given to that contractor to build his house or his office or construct his house or his office. That's how the penalty is, right? So we'll say the penalty for each day of delay of the construction work is as follows. So how the penalty for each day is: first day is 200, second day 250, third day 300, like that it goes on. And now we have to find, if the work is delayed by 30 days, how much penalty the contractor has to pay to the a person who had given him the contract to construct his house or office. Right? So we'll go to the solution. We'll call this a solution. Solution is the penalty for each day of delay of the construction work is as follows: 200 rupees for the first day, 250 for the second day, 300 for the third day, and so on and so forth. Now we'll say this list of numbers form an AP because the penalty for each succeeding day, which means penalty of the second day, penalty of the each succeeding day is 50 rupees, 50 more than is rupees 50 more than the preceding day. Right? That's how the penalty is. Right? So see, this penalty is 50 more than this. This 300 is 50 more than this. So therefore it's an AP. Right? The list of numbers form an AP because the penalty for each succeeding day is rupees 50 more than the preceding day. Now what we should find? We should find the penalty of 20. So the penalty for the work delayed by delayed by 30 days will be what? Will be equal to 200 plus 250 plus 300 plus dot 30 terms. We have to find the sum of first 30 terms of this arithmetic series. We call it as a series when you put plus plus plus. So which means we should find S30. Right? Again we'll put S30. S30 we'll write Sn. We have to find S30. S30 equal to question. That's what we have to find. So this entire thing is equal to S30. S30 is this. The penalty for each day of by 30 days is S30 equal to this. So S30 we have to find. So we will use the formula n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Fine. So S30. So Sn is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Right. Let's try to find what is a, d and all. So a is 200. So I'll write here also comma. I'll write here a is 200. First term is 200. Our d is 50 because each term is, or you can see a2 minus a1, 250 minus 200. D is 50. So our S30 becomes n by 2, n is 30 by 2 into 2a. So 2 into a is 200 plus n is 30 minus 1, n minus 1 into d is 50. So that becomes 30 by 2 is 15 into this is 400. This is 29 times 50. That is equal to 15 into 400 plus, right, 1500, 1450, right? So that becomes 15 into 1850. That is your S30. So we have to do 15 times 1850. So 15 into 185 gives you 50. So 0 will come. 15 5s are 75, carry 7. 15 is 120, 127, 7, 12. 15 ones are 15, 27. So that will be equal to 27750. That is S30. 27,750. So this much is the penalty the contractor has to pay. So the penalty will be, so the penalty for delaying the work, penalty for delaying the construction work by 30 days is equal to 27,750 rupees. Let us say rupees. I'll write equal to rupees 27,750. So this much of penalty the contractor has to pay. 27,750 rupees. 27,750 is the total penalty if the work is delayed by 30 days. Fine. So all of you can pause the video and take this notes. We'll go to the next one. So 16th problem. I'll erase this. So 16th question, what it says is, it says that a sum of rupees 700 is to be used to give 7 cash prizes to students of a school for their overall academic performance. If each prize is 20 less than its preceding price, find the value of each of the prizes. So there are some prizes given, right, to 7 students. 7 cash prizes are given and there is a total of 700 rupees is there. 700 rupees is to be given as cash prizes to 7 students who has studied well for their academic performance. 7 students are awarded some cash prize and the total budget the school has is 700 rupees. So they want to give the 700 to 7 students, but not equally, in such a way that the first prize money is something, the second prize will be 20 less than the first prize money, and third prize will be 20 rupees less than the second prize money, and so on and so forth. Like that they are going to give 7 cash prizes to 7 students for their excellent performance in their academic year, right? Now what we need to find is, we have to find the value of each of the prices. What is the value of the each price that is given to each of the 7 students. So we will say the price money for each of the students is as follows, right? How it is given? First price is suppose x rupees. First price is x rupees. Then the second price will be x minus 20. 20 less than this. And the third price will be x minus 20 minus 20. 20 less than this. So like that it goes. The fourth price will be x minus 20 of minus 20. This price minus 20. So if you do this, it will become x comma x minus 20 comma this will become x minus 40. Next will become x minus 60, x minus 80, x minus 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then x minus 120. So these are the 7 prices. Right? X comma x minus 20, then again this is x minus 40 because 20 less than this will be x minus 40, x minus 60, like that the price is given. 7 prices are given. And the total is 70. So now if you observe this list of numbers, the list of numbers are the list of prize money. The list of numbers above form an AP with common differences with common difference. What is the common difference? Common difference is equal to A2 minus A1. And what is A2? X minus 20. So x minus 20, that is A1. A2, this is A2 minus A1, only minus x. So that will give you x minus 20 minus x, which is minus 20. So your common difference D is minus 20. And they said that each price is 20 rupees less than its preceding price. So the common difference is minus 20. So now we should find this. Now what it is given? The total money. They said the sum of the 7 prices is 700. Yes, 7 is 700. The sum of all the 7 prices together they have only 700 rupees. This 700 rupees they have to distribute to the 7 students for their academic performance in such a way that the first price is some rupees, then second price is 20 less than the first price, third one is again 20 less than the second price, and the fourth price is 20 less than the third price, and so on and so forth. So that's how the 7 prices are decided. Now S7 is 700. Sum of 7 terms of this AP is 700. Now what is S7? S7 is, we can write the formula n by 2, 7 by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1, which is 7 minus 1 into d. That is equal to 700. Now 7 by 2 into 2a, 2 into a is the first term is x. This is your first term, a1, this is a2, a3, a4, a5, a6 and a7. So 2 into a is x, plus 7 minus 1 is 6 into d is minus 20. Value is equal to 700. We have to solve this and find the value of x here. Now once you know x, you can find all the remaining prices. We have to find what is the price money given for each price. So 7 by 2, and could take the 7 by 2 to this side, so it will become 2 into x. This is minus 120. 2 into x is 2x minus 120 equal to 700 into 7 by 2. If it goes to the other side, it becomes 2 by 7. So they get cancelled, you get 100. So 2x minus 120 equal to 200. So your 2x becomes 200 plus 120. Your 2x is 320. So your x is 160. So 2x is 300. So 2x is 320. So x is 320 by 2, which means your x is 160 rupees. So x is the amount of money given to the first prize. So which is 160. Fine, which is 160. Now we should find the other. We have to find the other prices. So we have got x is 160. So I'll erase this line. So this is part of the previous problem. So x is 160. So the prices are x comma x minus 20 comma x minus 40 comma x minus 60 comma, I'll write it here, probably this must be, so I'll say the prices are x, x minus 20, x minus 40, x minus 60, x minus 80, x minus 100, x minus 120. So 7 prices. X minus 120. Now if you substitute x as 160, so this becomes 160, 160 minus 20, 160 minus 40, 160 minus 60, 160 minus 80, because I'm substituting x as 160. So 160 minus 120. So you will get 160, 160 minus 20 will become 140, 120, 100, 80, 60 and 40. So these are the 7 prices that is given. Now if you add all these prices, you will get the answer as 700. The 700 rupees is distributed as first price is 160, second price is 140, third price is 120, fourth price is 100, and then the 7th price is 40. Now if you see, each price is 20 rupees less than the previous price, and the sum of all this will give you the 700, which was the budget for the school to give that price, right? So all of you can pause the video and take the notes. I will erase this and I will go to the next problem, which is problem number 17. So problem number 17 is, it says, in a school, students thought of planting trees in and around the school to reduce air pollution. It was decided the number of trees that each section of each class will plant will be same as the class in which they are studying. That is, example, one section of class 1 will plant 1 tree, and one section of class 2 will plant 2 trees, and one section of class 3 will plant 3 trees, and so on and so forth. So ultimately one section of class 12 will plant 12 trees. So that's how they decided that they will plant the trees around the school to reduce the air pollution. Now we need to find how many trees were planted, by the students of 3 sections. So each class has 3 sections. So first standard has 1A, 1B, 1C section. Then second standard has second A, second B, second C section. Like that, 12th standard also has 12A, 12B, 12C. And each section of each class plant 1 tree. If there are 3 sections, then the first standard, which is having 3 sections, will plant 1 tree for each section. They'll plant 3 trees. So similarly, second class will plant 2 trees for section A, 2 plants for section B, and 2 trees for section C. So like that. So which means each section, each class is planting the tree which is equal to the class that they are studying. So we'll say the trees are the plants, right? We can say the trees are the plants. Fine. The trees planted by each section of each class is as follows. So we are talking about each section, how much they are planting, right? So first standard will plant 1 plant, second standard for one section is 2 plants, third standard will be 3 plants, like that till 12th standard will plant 12 plants. 12th standard will plant 12 plants. Fine. And this list of number of trees are the trees planted by one section of each class. But there are 3 sections. Totally there are 3 sections, and we need to find the total number of trees planted by all the 3 sections of each class. Now first we will try to find how many trees were planted by one section of each class. Then finally we will multiply by 3 to get the total number of trees because each class has 3 sections. So finally we'll multiply the total by 3 to get the total number of trees. Now we'll say that this list of numbers, the above list of numbers form an AP with common difference as D equal to A2 minus A1, that is equal to A2 is 2, so 2 minus 1, A1 is 1, that is equal to 1. So your D is 1. Common difference is 1. Now we should find the sum of first 12 terms. How many terms are there? 12 terms are there. 1, 2, 3 like the 12 terms. So we should find S12. And we know the last term. When we know the last term, then we can use this formula, n by 2 into A plus AN. So n by 2, n is 12 by 2 into A is first term plus A12 is this, 12. So this is your A1, A2, A3, dot, this is A12. Because this is by 12 standard. So that gives you, if you cancel this, it is 6 into 13, which is 78. So S12 is 78. This is the number of trees planted by one section of each class. From class 1 to class 12, one section. Now, so trees planted by 3 sections of total trees. Total trees planted by 3 sections of each class. Total trees planted by 3 sections of all classes. 3 sections of all classes will be equal to 3 into this total, 78. Because this is for one section. This is like 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A till 12A. 12A section. Then similarly we have for second section B, third section C. So there are 3 sections. This is for one section. So into 3 will give you for 3 sections. So 3 into 78, 24, carry 2, you get 23. Right? So you get 234 trees are planted in total. Fine. So the number of trees planted by all the 3 sections of each class is 234. So this is the total number of trees planted by 3 sections of all the classes, first standard till 12th standard. So this is the answer. So 234 trees are planted. Right? So all of you can pause the video and take the notes. I will erase this now. You go to the next problem. So problem number 18 is that it says you have to refer the figure 5.4 in your page number 114. There is a figure. So it says a spiral is made up of successive semicircles with centers alternatively at A and B, starting with center at A of radii 0.5 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter, 2 centimeter as shown in the figure 5.4 in your textbook, which is in the next page. What is the total length of such a spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles? And you have to take pi as 22 by 7. So what is given is, so there is a spiral made up of successive semicircles. Suppose if this is A and this is B, right? So there is a semicircle like this. So there is a semicircle like this. Then again with this is B. With A as center, there is a semicircle that is drawn. This is 0.5 centimeter radius. So this will also be 0.5. This to this will also be 0.5. Then with B, then again with B as center, again one more spiral is drawn. That is with the radius of this total length. For this as the center, this is a semicircle. This total is 1. So this total length is 1 centimeter, 1.0 centimeter. Which means 1 centimeter. 1.0 is 1 centimeter. So again it goes and has one more spiral with this as center, and the radius is from here to 0.51. Again it goes to comes like this, which is again, if you see here with this as center, if you see this semicircle, this is 0.5, 0.5, again this is also 0.5. So from here to this is 1 centimeter. So totally this is 0.5. So from here to, sorry, this is 1.5. A2, suppose if we call this as suppose C, and if we call this as D, and this as E, fine. Then this is the first semicircle. So S1 I will call it as first semicircle, and this is your second semicircle S2, and this is your third semicircle from D to E. That is your third semicircle S3, and whose center is A, and the radius is from A to D is the radius of this semicircle. For this semicircle, the radius is 1.5. For this semicircle S1, the radius is 0.5. For the semicircle S2, for this, the radius is 1 centimeter from here to here. This is the radius of this semicircle. Again, this is 1 centimeter. So total is diameter. Again, for the third semicircle, which is this, the radius is, the center is again here, and the radius is this one, which is 1 plus 0.5, which is 1.5. So this is a third semicircle. So similarly, you have the fourth one that will go like this. So it will keep on going. It will keep on, the spiral is kept on formed like this. Now, what is the length of 13 such spirals? So the first spiral radius is 0.5 of the semicircle is 0.5. Second semicircle, which is this. So this is your first, then this is your second semicircle. This is your semicircle. That radius is 1. Third semicircle radius is 1.5. Fourth will become 2. Fifth is 2.5. Like that it is going. You have to find what is the total length of 13 such semicircle. What will be the total length of the spiral, which is made up of 13 such semicircle. So which means, I will write here. So we will say the radius of, or radii of different semicircles are 0.5, 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, ... like that is going. Now we have to find the length of the spiral that is equal to the length of all the sum of the length of all the 13 semicircles. If you add the length of this semicircle BC plus CD plus DE plus like that, if it goes on for 13 semicircle, right? So the length of the spiral, total length of the spiral will be equal to length of the 13 semicircles. 13 semicircles. So that will be equal to perimeter of first semicircle plus perimeter of second semicircle, second semicircle plus perimeter of third semicircle, first semicircle, this is not circle, semicircle, third semicircle, plus like that it goes on till plus perimeter of 13th semicircle. So there are 13 semicircles formed, 13th semicircle. The perimeter of first semicircle plus perimeter of second plus perimeter of third plus perimeter of fourth, so on and so forth till 13 semicircles. If you find the perimeter of all the 13 semicircles and then if you add them, that will give the total length of the spiral. Right? So now what is the perimeter of first semicircle? Suppose if I take this as radius R1, this radius is R2, this is R3 and R4 are the radius of semicircle 1, semicircle 2, semicircle C. The perimeter of the first semicircle will be half into 2 pi r, 2 pi r1. The 2 pi r1 is the perimeter of the circle. 2 pi r is the perimeter of the circle, but the radius is r1. So which means 2 pi r1 is the perimeter of the circle, and but we need to find semicircle, so which is 1 by 2. Plus again the second semicircle perimeter is half of 2 pi r2 plus half of third will be 2 pi r3. Like that it goes on for 13 terms, because 13 semicircles, so 13 terms it goes. So that will be equal to 2 will get cancelled. We will get pi r1 plus pi r2 plus pi r3 plus dot 13 terms. Now what is our, now pi can be taken common. You will get r1 plus r2 plus r3 plus dot 13 terms. So we are taking pi common. Pi is present everywhere. So if you take out the pi out of that, then you get this. Now that is equal to pi into, now what is radius 1? R1 is 0.5. So 0.5 plus R2 is 1.0 plus 1.5 plus dot 13 terms. Now if you see this 0.5 plus 1.0 plus 1.5, they form an AP. They form an AP with the common difference as 5. Sorry, 0.5. The common difference D is what? 0.1, 0.5. Right? Now we should find the sum of 13 terms of this AP. What is 13 terms of AP? Pi into, what is sum of 13 terms? S13. S13 is 13 by 2 into 2a. 2 into a is 0.5 plus n minus 1. N is 13 minus 1 into D. D is 0.5 again. Common difference. Common difference is 0.5. Now if you do this, you get pi into 13 by 2 into 2 into 0.5 is 1. So this is your A1, A2, A3, and your D is A2 minus A1. 1 minus 0.5 will give you 0.5. That is your common difference. Now formula is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into D. This formula to find the sum of 13 terms of this AP, or this is arithmetic series. So 1 plus, this is 6 into 0.5 is 3. 6 into, sorry, 12 into 0.5 is 6. So I'll write the continuation of this here, right? Continuation of this here. So you get pi into 13 by 2 into 6 plus 1 is 7, right? 6 plus 1 is 7. Now again pi is taken as 22 by 7, right? So this will be equal to 22 by 7. Pi is 22 by 7 into 13 by 2 into 7. Don't multiply 13 and 7 because it is getting cancelled here. Cancel 2 11s are. So finally you will get 143 centimeter. So this is the total length of the spiral. So total length of the spiral is, total length of the spiral is equal to 143 centimeter. That is the total length of the spiral for 13 semicircles. So if you add this length plus this length plus this third length, fourth length, fifth, sixth, like that, if you add till 13 semicircles, the total length of the spiral will become 143 centimeter. So this is your answer. Fine. So here we are using our sum of n terms formula. This is 13 terms. So S13. S13 is 13 by 2 into 2a plus 13 minus 1 into D. So this formula that we are applying to find the sum. Right. So all of you can. So this is your example. Sorry, sum number 18 of your textbook. Sum number 18 of your textbook. Right. So all of you can pause the video and take the notes. I will go to the next problem. I'm erasing all this. The next one is problem number 19. Right. So what it says is, so it says that 200 logs are stacked in the following manner. You have to see figure 5.5 in your textbook, page number 114. Problem number 19, figure 5.5. It says 200 logs are stacked in the following manner, in such a way that 20 logs in the bottom row, 19 in the next row, 18 in the next row to it, and so on. See figure 5.5. In how many rows are the 200 logs placed, and how many logs are there in the top row? So which means there is a log that is placed, right? We keep like this. right? So if you see, there's another log that is placed, another log that is placed, like that. They are placing like this. Then again here another log is placed here, another log is placed here, here. So like that it is placed, and then on top of this another one. Like that the logs are placed. Like you can see figure 5.5 in your textbook, right? Now in such a way that in total, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, if you count totally, there are 200 logs. So total is 200 logs. So total logs is equal to 200, that is given in the book, and 20 logs in the bottom row. This is the bottom row. This has 20 logs. I mean, if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, it may not be 20, but you think that it's going on, it is 20. And the row above this, bottom row, 19 in the next row, which means the row above this has 19 logs. If you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, if you count, this row has 19 and then this has 18 logs. Like that it is going. Now the question is, how many rows are there? Suppose the top row is somewhere here. So this is the last row. So how many logs are there in this? How many logs? Question mark. Log will be in the top row. So this is the top row. How many logs are there in the top row? How many rows are there in? And also how many rows are required for these 200 logs to be placed? So how many rows you need? 1, 2, 3, like that. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, how many rows are needed? So that the end 200. So if you count all the logs, that is 200. So how many rows are needed to place this 200 logs? And how many logs will be there in the last row, in the top row? In the top row. Bottom row has 20 logs. Next has 18. Like that, how many logs will be there in the top row? And also how many rows are there totally? So that the total of all these logs is 200. So now we will say, the number of logs in each row is as follows. So how it is there? It is 20 logs in the first row, in the bottommost row. Then above that it is 19, above that 18, like that it is going. How many rows are there? N terms. How many terms are there? N terms, which means N rows are there. The first row, the bottommost row has 20 logs. Then the one that is above this row has 19. Above this is this row has 18. Then 17, like that it is going. Like that, how many? N terms. But what is given? The sum of all these logs, which means sum of N terms, is given as 200. The Sn equal to 200. We have to find N. N gives the number of rows. How many rows are there totally? And what will be the number of logs in the top row? Suppose top row, this is your A1, A2, A3, third term, like that, you call this as AN. Last term is AN. So AN equal to how much? If AN is the topmost row, how many logs are there in this AN? Which means you have to find AN. How many logs will be in? See, A1 is the number of logs in the bottommost row, A1. This is A2. This is the number of logs in the second row from the bottom. Then third row from the bottom. Like that, how many rows are in the top row? That will be, we'll call it as AN. Now we have to find AN and we have to find N. N equal to what? And AN equal to what? Question mark. So N gives us the number of rows. We need to stack these logs. How many rows? In how many rows? These 200 logs are stacked. That is number one. Number two is how many logs are there in the topmost row, which means we have to find AN. Because A1 denotes the number of logs in the bottommost. A2 denotes the number of logs in the row above that, like that. So AN will be the number of logs in the topmost row. That we have to find. So now Sn is 200. Now let's write this. Let's see this. The list of numbers form an AP. List of numbers form an AP with common difference as that is D equal to A2 minus A1, and A2 is 19 minus a1 is 20, that is equal to minus 1. So your d is minus 1 and it will be same for every term. Right? Rest of numbers form an AP if the common difference is minus 1. So now Sn is 200. So what is Sn formula? So we will find a. So a also will write. A is the first term, which is 20. And the common difference d is minus 1. So our Sn is given as 200. From this we have to find n. The Sn is 200 means Sn formula is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. That is equal to 200. Fine. Let me erase this. So that is equal to n by 2. I am writing again the same step. I am writing 2a plus n minus 1 into d. That is given as 200. So n by 2 into 2a. So 2 into a is the first term. First term is 20. 2 into 20 plus n minus 1 into d. d is minus 1 equal to 200. So this 2 will go this side. It will become n into 2 into 20 is 40. Minus 1 into n is minus n. Minus 1 into minus 1 is plus 1 equal to 200 into 2. So this 2 goes this side. It will become into 2. So now when you multiply, you get 40n minus, let's add this. So n into 40 plus 1 is 41 minus n equal to 400. Now if you multiply this, you get n into 41 is 41n minus n square equal to 400. Now we'll bring everything to one side. So you'll get n square minus 41n plus 400 equal to 0. Right? If n square comes this side, it will become plus n square minus 41 become plus 41 will become minus 41 and 400 is already there. Then I am writing entire RHS here and equal to 0. Now we have to factorize this by splitting the middle term. So multiply, I should get 400, and if I add, I should get 41, which means the numbers a and b are 16 and 25, because 16 25 are 400, 16 plus 25 is 41, and it is an addition case. So both are, this is negative means both are negative. So you get n square minus 41n can be written as 16n minus 25n plus 400 equal to 0. Fine. So what we get here is now n into n minus 16 minus 25 is common, n minus 16 equal to 0. So again n minus 16 is common. You get n minus 25 equal to 0. Right, now n minus 16, so which means n minus 16 is equal to 0 or n minus 25 is equal to 0. So which means n is equal to 16 or n is equal to 25. Now which means the number of logs, number of rows is either 16 or 25, and both are positive integers, so both may be the right answer. We'll have to check whether both are correct or one of them is valid. We'll have to check. Now what we should find? We should find the number of logs in the nth row, which means we should find an. N we got two values. So when n is 16, what is our an? When n is 16, our an is what? An is a plus n minus 1 into d. This will give you the number of logs that is there in the topmost row. How many logs are there in the topmost row? So that is now a16. Let's find a16. N is 16. So a16 equal to a. A is first term is 20 plus n minus 1. N is 16 minus 1 into d. D is minus 1. That gives you 20 plus 15 into minus 1 is minus 15. So you'll get 5. That is your a16. When n is 16, your a16 is 5, which means the number of logs in the top row is 5. Now second case is when n equal to 25, what happens? When n is equal to 25, what is our an? Because both the answers are right. Because n is a positive integer, in both the cases they are positive integers. So when n is 16, we have to find what is an. An is 5. So when n is 25, what is an? An is a plus n minus 1 into d. So a25 we have to find. That is equal to a. A is 20 plus n is 25 minus 1 into minus 1. D is minus 1. So that becomes 20 into 25 minus 1 is 24. 24 into minus 1 is minus 24. We get it as minus 4. A25. But A25 is what? A25 denotes the number of logs that can be placed on the 25th row, and we cannot have minus 4 logs, right? Number of logs cannot be negative. So therefore this we cannot have n equal to 25. So this will not work. A25 cannot be negative. Cannot be negative. Therefore n cannot be 25. So the only answer is this. Therefore number of rows should be number of rows is equal to 16 and number of logs on the top row is equal to 5. So this is the number of rows. Totally there are 16 rows and the top row, the topmost row, which is the 16th row, has 5 logs. So the top row has 5 logs. Okay, so this is the answer. So we can't take this because your A25 cannot be negative. A25 denotes the number of logs in the topmost row on the 25th row, and that is coming as negative. Therefore, we cannot take this answer, which means n also cannot be 25, because if n is 25, n becomes negative. So we cannot take this, so we have to take only this answer. So the number of rows is 16, the number of logs on the topmost row is 5. Right? So all of you can pause the video and take notes. I'll go to the next problem, which is problem number 20. It's the last problem in this exercise. I'm erasing this. So problem number 20, what it states is, it says in a potato race, a bucket is placed at the starting point, which is 5 meters from the first potato, and that other potatoes are placed 3 meters apart in a straight line. There are 10 potatoes in the line. In the line, you can see the figure 5.6. A competitor starts from the bucket, picks up the nearest potato, runs back with it, drops it in the bucket, run back to pick up the next potato, runs back to the bucket to drop it in, and she continues the same way until all the potatoes are into the bucket. What is the total distance the competitor has to run? So I will draw the figure. So there is a bucket here. There is a bucket, right? There is a potato race in which there are potatoes kept here. So suppose there is a potato here, right? So so there is a potato here, which is from a distance of 5 meters from the bucket. The first potato is at a distance of 5 meters from the bucket, right? Right. Then other potatoes are, so another potato is here, which is 3 meters. The other potatoes are 3 meters apart. This is another potato. This is 3 meters. Again another potato, 3 meters. So after that, the distance between any two potatoes are 3. Like that, you have 10 potatoes. This is the last potato. So that's how the potatoes are placed, right? A competitor has to run. So she's a competitor, right? She's running and she's going and taking the potato, dropping it back into the bucket. So first she starts from here. She runs here, takes this potato, comes back and puts it back here into the bucket. Then again she goes here, takes the second potato, runs back, she puts it in the bucket. Then again she goes to the third potato, picks that up, and then again she runs back and puts it in the bucket. So now what is the total distance covered for the competitor to take care of taking all the potatoes and putting it into the bucket? This is potato 1, potato 2, potato 3, potato 4, like that. This is potato 10. Right? There are 10 potatoes in that. Right? So we need to find what is the total distance run by the competitor. Right? So that all the 10 potatoes are picked up and put it. Now we will see the distance covered. Distance covered by the competitor to pick the first potato and drops it into the bucket. That will be equal to how much distance she travels. She starts from here, she goes here, So she travels 5 meter. Again she comes back, picks it, and then she comes back and put it here. So she traveled 5 plus 5, 10 meters. 5 plus 5, so 10 meters she traveled to go and pick the first one and put it back, right? For the second potato, similarly, for second potato, distance run or distance covered will be equal to, so first she is here, goes here, picks this, comes back. So first she goes 5 meter, picks this, and again she comes back 5 meter, puts it. Now the first potato is picked. Now she has to run from 5 to here, which means 5 plus 3, 8 meters she has to run. She has to pick the second potato. Again she has to run back 8 meters and put it in the bucket. So totally how much she is first running 8 meters till the second potato, that is 8. Plus again she runs back and she puts it in the bucket, that is 8 plus 8, which is 16 meters. So similarly for the third potato, distance covered, that will be equal to, again she starts from here, she runs till here, third potato, so which means she goes 5 plus 3 plus 3, 11 meters she runs to pick the third potato. Then she again runs back 11 meters and she puts it into the bucket. So which means she runs 11 to go and pick the potato, 11 meters. Then after picking the potato, she runs back 11, because 5 plus 3 plus 3 is 11, to put it in the bucket. So this is 11 plus 11, which is 22 meters. So now if you see, now let's write the distance covered. So the distance covered by the competitor for each potato is as follows. So what is that? The first one is 10 meters, second potato 16 meters, third potato 22 meters. Like that, how many potatoes she has to do? 10 terms. Now let's see whether this list of numbers form an AP. Let's find the common difference. What is the common difference? Common difference is 16 A2 minus A1, which is 16 minus 10, which is 10, which is 6. Again, which is D. Again, D is, let's do A3 minus A2. A3 is 22 minus 16. That is also 6. That is also 6. A3 minus A2 is also 6. So the common difference is same, which is 6. So it is an AP. So we'll say, since the common difference is same, since the common difference is same, so it is an AP. So it is an AP. Therefore it is an AP. This list of numbers form an AP, arithmetic progression. Now the total distance covered is equal to total distance covered by the competitor, that is equal to 10 plus 16 plus 22 plus dot 10 terms. Why 10 terms? Because there are 10 potatoes. Now we should find the sum of these 10 terms of this AP. So which means we should find S10. S10 is what? N by 2, which is 10 by 2 to 2A plus N minus 1. N is 10. So 10 minus 1 into D. So that is equal to 10 by 2 is 5 into 2A. 2 into A. A is the first term. First term is 10. This is the first term, which is 10. Plus 10 minus 1 is 9 into D. D is, we found the D as 6. 6. So that becomes 5 into 20 plus 9 6 are 54. So you get 5 into 74. 5 into 74, which is equal to 370 meters. That is the answer. So how much distance covered? So total distance covered by the competitor is equal to 370 meters. Total distance the competitor had to run. That is in total 370 meters she had to run to ensure that all the potatoes are picked and all of them are put into the bucket. All the 10 potatoes are put into the bucket. Fine. So this is the answer for this problem number 20, and this completes exercise 5.3. All of you can pause the video and take the notes. All of you can pause the video and take the notes. I will stop the session here. You can watch my next session for the continuation of this. Thank you all for watching. See you all in the next video. Thank you.